Gotta love living out here in the sticks on a windy day, especially when you live downwind of like 6 or 8 chicken houses. What's good, YouTube? In this video here, I'm going to make what I've been planning to do for about 2 months now and never did, and that is make a hand reel out of a stick. A friend of mine on YouTube that goes by this channel right here, Hobo Handliner, you can go check it out. I'll leave links in the description so you can go watch his stuff. He kind of got me into this stuff. Like, I've never really been into the whole handline thing, but I started watching some of his videos and some other videos because I'm kind of into the whole bushcraft thing, even though I never really do it. But this kind of thing just interests me. So I was out fishing one day and found what I think will work as a pretty good piece of wood to start with, and I'm going to make a hand reel. What I'm going to do, like the bottom part here, it's got a little bit of a split in it from where I cut it off the tree, because this tree was already dying or getting there, but I'm going to just tape that end up probably a couple inches from the bottom, just to have a little bit of a grip or something, I don't know. And I'm going to whittle down just a section, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches from the end here, like not from here to here, but like maybe from this little gap between this knot to about right here to have the line on here. So I'm going to mark that stuff out, and I'm only going to, well, I'm going to try to only do it with one tool, and that is my Leatherman signal. Now, if you haven't seen the video on that, I did a unboxing / first opinions kind of thing on it. It's got the knife, serrated blade, and it also has saw blade and all that on it, which this saw blade is actually pretty dang handy for such a small blade. And it's got all kinds of other stuff that could be useful for, you know, hunting, fishing, camping, survival, and whatever. It even has a little hammer type thing on it, not that I'll ever use it. Ferro rod, sharpening stick, all kinds of other stuff on the insides, but I'm going to try to use just this to get that thing started, so might as well mark out my spool section and get to working on it. Alright, basically what I've done so far is just took the saw and cut the spool about to the depth that I want to use. Now I just need to decide, you know, how, you know, long the spool is, I guess you could say. Basically what I'm doing, I think what I'll do is make it about like that. I don't know. I'm planning on using like 6 or 8 pound test on this thing, but I'm just going to take my saw blade and kind of score this all the way around to have a idea of where to cut and whittle and all that. So I'm going to get this started and get the working points done, and I will see you once I get this thing whittled down. Well, I have made a little bit of progress. I've got it just about down to the full depth that I want to use it at. I've got a little bit toward the center to chisel out, or not chisel out, but whittle out. But I've got a problem. All that back there is rain, and I can smell it. So I don't have much longer, and I'm going to try to get this whittled down to get the full spool made the way I want it, and then I'll work on the bevels and kind of leveling out this top part, even though that really doesn't play any major role at all. It's just an OCD thing. Like, I want that level. But whatever wood this is, but this stuff has a really smooth like fiber that it's made of, so I'm not worried about this like spool base, I guess you could say, cutting into the line or fraying it or anything like that. I do have to work on some of these little bitty knots like that to get those down, but yeah, I've just got a few more minutes before I'm going to get soaked, so I'm going to get this whittled down to where I need it at, or where I want it at, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Alright, I've got it down to where I want it at. I'm probably going to start out with like 6 or 8 pound test, considering this is my first hand reel, and I really have no idea what I'm getting into or what I'm doing really. But I took and cut a nice little bevel all the way around the top part of it there. That way the line will come off a little bit easier. And I still have a little bit of like whittling to do on the center section here, which none of these are sharp edges whatsoever. I mean, I got a little bit of burr right there I can take care of, but this wood, whatever it is super smooth, so I'm not worried about the line getting cut or nicked or anything like that. But first one, I think it turned out pretty good. I'm going to go in here and get this thing wrapped up and maybe get it rigged up and take it out here in a couple of days. What I would like to do, but I would have to really cheat to do it, and is cut off below this, well, above this little split right here, and bore out a section of it. That way I could put some sinkers and some hooks and things like that in there. But that'll be for a whole nother video, a whole nother reel. So anyway, want to get this thing put together, well, spooled up and rigged. I must say, this Leatherman signal is working out pretty well for making a hand reel, and it just gave me an idea for another video that I might do later on, and that's kind of along the lines of build one on the riverbank or whatever, kind of like Marlene Bates riverbank build videos. If y'all haven't watched any of Marlene Bates videos, you need to. It's pretty entertaining and pretty awesome what he can build. But yeah, Leatherman signal, that thing holds up. Finish is already wearing off of it, but I've had it for several months. So anyway, I'm gonna get in here and get this thing spooled up before I get soaked, because now it's coming from that direction and that direction. Yeah. Well, YouTube, here's the final result, the final tool. I've actually got it big enough to where I can double it over and cinch it down, or just open it up and have a big enough loop to where I can wear it around my neck if I wanted to. But if I had to redo it again, I would be a little bit more uniform with the bevel on the top, because it pokes out a little bit farther on one side than it does the other, which, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's supposed to be a minimalist, you know, bushcraft-ish kind of, you know, hand reel thing. And the setup here is just split shots with a little hook. This wood is soft enough that I can jab the hook down in there and not worry about damaging the hook point. So, I mean, push comes to shove, I've got a sharpener. It's not a big deal. But the line I've got on here, I went with 8-pound Berkeley Trilene big game, and just wrapped the rest of it in electrical tape just to have a little bit extra grip. And I had originally started to bore a hole through the bottom of it to attach the paracord with, but that didn't work out the way I wanted it to, so I just took and bored a hole through the side of it for the paracord, which turned out much better. So as you can tell, you know, I don't have to worry about losing it. I just leave it hanging there and just wrap my rig up on the reel itself like that. I'm probably going to get very frustrated with this thing, but it's a skill that everybody could use. So I definitely need to get some experience with this and hopefully catch some fish. So I don't know exactly when that video will be, but this is just by itself a video on making a hand reel. Now, I did save y'all the trouble of watching me shape all this stuff out to get room for the line, so nobody wants to watch that. But anyway, make you a hand reel. It's a fun little project. You can keep it in your backpack, your pocket, or whatever. Or even if you like having like a hiking stick or a walking stick, you can rig this up on the end of one and, you know, do it while you're out fishing. But again, check out Hobo Handliner and the Facebook group. I'll put a picture on the screen somewhere and links in the description so you can go check those out. But anyway, I say that too much. It kind of bothers me now. So again, make you one, have fun with it, catch you some fish. Hope you like the video. We'll see you in the next one.